All right, my friends, here's a good question. I have never been asked this before about lifting. What's my number one rule? My number one rule is don't get hurt. Don't get hurt. What's the most important thing about lifting was the question. Don't get hurt. Period. Don't get hurt. That means particularly, I think this goes for everybody, but particularly for us older guys, right? I hate saying that. God, I hate that coming out of my mouth. But I am 55 years old and I do think about this, that I am careful with my lifts. I've been going 2 years now. I've not been hurt. I started, and that's not right. It's a year and a half. I started in June of 2022. For the first 6 months, all I did is walk. So I've been on the road exercising for 2 solid years, though, and I have yet to get hurt. Knock on wood, it hasn't happened. How do we not get hurt? No ego. Got to leave that ego at the door. I see a lot of people trying to go for PRs, personal records. And I'm telling you what, if you're 55 years old and you think you need to crank out a personal record, something the matter with you, because personal records is how you're going to get hurt. If you're 35 years old, for the love of God, what's it matter what your PR is? Nobody cares. Nobody cares about you and maybe that little group that you're around, but just understand that the chances of you hurting yourself trying to do 1 and 2s as heavy as you can, just so you have a number that you can brag about, well, have at it, but no one cares. And then when you're going to get to be my age, you're going to be like, why in the hell did I throw my back out? Did I ruin my shoulder? Why did I do these things trying to pick up 400 pounds when there was no value to it in the long term? So you got to check that ego. I'll tell you what I'm doing now, these workouts. I'll do some videos here eventually. It is all super light weights. If I'm doing a bicep curl, for instance, it's all the way out, stop, and then bring it back in with a 4 count, and then back down, and all the way down. So by doing that and high reps, so I'm doing 12, 15, 18 reps, right? Doing 4 sets. When you get done with it. Yesterday, as a perfect example, I was doing bicep curl with these biceps. I'm 244 pounds. I was doing bicep curls with a 12 and a half. It's a little thing, it's about that big, right? But I'm doing these bicep curls on a bench with 12 and a halves. Because I'm doing slow and controlled and under pressure the whole time. The resistance is continuous. It's very hard to do mentally, but it's the best way to work out. It's also the best way not to get hurt. Best way to grow muscle. Best way not to get hurt. Lightweight, high rep, to exhaustion. So I can't even lift. I'm sitting there and I can't lift up a 12 and a half pound weight anymore. That's checking your ego at the door and doing the weight the right way so that you don't get hurt. So no ego, no gym bro lifting, none of that, particularly if you are in your late 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, whatever it is. Just check that ego at the door. A little bit easier as we get older, but I just care about results. And I also don't care what anyone else around me thinks. If you ask me what my personal bench press record is, I have no idea. You know why I have no idea? Because I don't care. And I'm not stupid enough to try to do it, thereby hurting myself. I'm here to be healthy, period. Opportunities are everywhere. You got to go get them. Go for a walk and lift some weights.